Yeah, I've been a Liverpool fan my whole life, but from young, I've liked I've liked Arsenal. I like watching Arsenal from how they play and the kind of how passionate the fans are.
With the summer window out of the way and the winter transfer window coming up on January the 1st, I think that Arsenal should go out for this player. So make we see what go on.
Premier 7.
Welcome to another live session here on Premier 7 with your host of the day, Ryan Nelson. Can you remember a point in your life when you are chasing someone or something and you thought that it would have been a success, but you would have to wait until another time because there was a delay? Think about it for a while. And when you do, it basically comes into connection with the topic for today. And that is exactly based on why Arsenal needs to sign Ivan Toney in winter is still important. It is still important because Ivan Toney is a player who has proven himself in the Premier League, having played for Brentford for more than 2 seasons. He's a player that is flexible in that sense of playing only as a lone striker, but can drift to the left hand side or to the right in terms of building up plays to score a goal. Ivan Toney is one of those strikers so which I see as being very technical, very reliable, and can be that person who can convert not only in small games but in big matches. Let me just pause for a few seconds to let Arsenal fans think that whether or not in their mind this guy is the right fit. So let me just give you 3 seconds to say yes or no, because the reason being you may want to say or comment who you would go for instead of Ivan Tony, because I am seeing other options. But let me just allow you to think for a few seconds before I give you a quick pick. Well, not a pick, could be a pick in mind about two players of which Arsenal or Arsenal fans, even yourself, could be thinking about. So let's just take a quick second to think on this. Alright, so the 3 seconds is up. And the thing is, Arsenal fans, some of you would want to get an Ivan Toney. A lot of you would love to get a Victor Osimhen, which could be very, very difficult. The thing is, Edu is a huge fan of Victor Osimhen, but there is another player that Arsenal could consider to go to if they don't get Ivan Toney in January. And of course, the ban for Ivan Toney is going to be up next year, January. And Arsenal can get his signature signed because the transfer window for the winter session or period opens from the 1st to the 31st. But let's just look on this type of player for which Arsenal may go for, which may really and truly scratch the heads of a lot of Arsenal fans, even those who aren't fans of Arsenal. So this is the details of the player for which Arsenal may turn their attention to. So the news article is basically from the top newslets in the United Kingdom, Sky Sports. So I'm not going to go through the topic. I'm going to go straight into the details that was posted 2 days ago. It says Arsenal to target Solanke if Tony priced out. Based on my knowledge, Solanke is a good striker, but he is not on the level of Ivan Toney. It would be saying that you would like to have a player who is close to Jesus in Nketiah right now in the season without upgrading. Similar to the fact that you're saying, or could be saying that Solanke would be that player as a another option for an Ivan Toney. But the meaning behind it is because, or is this, Nketiah isn't the same or isn't close to Jesus. And you can have your own decision to say on that. And Solanke isn't on the level of Ivan Toney. So I made a clarity there. So it would be best to get an Ivan Toney, avoid a Solanke, keep Jesus, and get rid of an Nketiah. So Arsenal are monitoring Dominic Solanke's situation at Bournemouth if they are priced out of a move for Ivan Toney. So Tony is excited about the chance to join Arsenal, according to the report. Remember, I played the clip with Ivan Toney mentioning that he has been a fan of Arsenal and he loves the fan base. But the thing is, because he's representing Brentford as a top player, the technical director of Brentford in Lee Dykes says only a decent transfer fee will convince the club to sell Ivan Toney. The thing is, the Brentford striker has 18 months left on his contract and is set to return to football in January as his ban for breaching the FA's betting rules come to an end. The thing is as well, Tony has been linked to some of the biggest teams in England, inclusive of not only Arsenal but Chelsea. Stick up in. Chelsea having Ivan Toney. Would Ivan Toney want to play for Chelsea? If you're not sure what was said earlier on, I am going to just eradicate or remove this Chelsea nonsense because I don't see how Ivan Toney could have a chance to play for Arsenal, who is in the top three on top of the Premier League table, can have a chance to win the league and decide to go to Chelsea within 10. If you want to hear me repeat or replay what Ivan Toney said by way of a repeat, then listen up.
Yeah, I've been a Liverpool fan my whole life, but from young, I've liked I've liked Arsenal. I like watching Arsenal from how they play and the kind of how passionate the fans are.
All right. So you hear what he mentioned. From I was growing up, I like Arsenal. I like how Arsenal plays, and I love the fans. The fans are passionate. That is what he's basically saying. The thing is, you can have players who are huge fan of your club, but they aren't quality players, you know. But in an Ivan Toney, he is that sort of player who is not only a big talker, but a player who can also deliver on the pitch for his team. And that is the reason why I'm going to go into the statistical representation showing the accomplishment of Ivan Toney. So Ivan Toney is 27 years of age right now, valued at 35 million euros. So if Brentford is looking for an 80 million price tag on Ivan Toney, I think that would be overpriced. Seeing that he has missed almost the entire season, the first half of the season due to the ban that he received from FA, that should really and truly reduce its price tag. So if they wanted to take a big 80 million pound, at least 50, 55 would be okay. And I know Arsenal will go all out to get this man because he is a missing piece. Or he's the only piece that Arsenal needs right now to back off or to push away Liverpool or Man City or even Aston Villa from taking away the Premier League title from them. It could be devastating seeing that 2 years in a row Arsenal losing the Premier League title. But let's not think about the negative. Let's think about Ivan Toney. So the guy has won top goal scorer twice, player of the year once. He has won the Football League trophy, and he has also won the English third tier championship. The thing is, this is not in the Premier League, but it shows that even though this player has been playing for Brentford, he knows what it takes to be winning trophies. He knows what it takes to lead from the front line and to contribute phenomenally to your team or to his team. We all know that Ivan Toney is a lone striker. What I like about this guy is the fact that he have on this. He can lead as a captain, and having a Declan Rice, a Ivan Toney, a Odegaard, a Saka, even the defenders, even the goalkeeper and Ramsey, there are a lot of leaders in the club. Strong-minded players who can play into a system that will suit Arteta, and it will be a no-brainer for Ivan Toney. He's a player for which you should remember that is very good in the box in terms of taking penalties, even taking free kicks. That gives Arsenal a lot more option. So, so far, it is great details here to see that if Arsenal listen to this program, for which I don't think they would, but I know other persons like the fans would, they would recommend for Arsenal to go all out and get this amazing player in Ivan Toney. So remember his price tag is 35 million euros, and because Brentford wants a higher price, I don't think they deserve to get such huge fee for Ivan Toney. So if they want to think about 80, due to the fact that Ivan Toney was banned, then he should not be charged. Um, well, Arsenal should not be paying such high valued price tag, right? Arsenal should be basically playing like a 55 million pounds, as what I mentioned earlier on. So I want to give you some statistical information here for Ivan Toney in regards to the English Premier League. So 68 appearances, 32 goals, 9 assists, 17 yellow cards. The yellow cards to me will reduce because he'll be playing in a better team, a better system with a better technical supporting setup, whereas he can merge and become that sort of player who can go on to the next level. Because persons can be saying that Ivan Toney isn't a high ceiling striker. He's not on the level of a Harry Kane, not on the level of an Osimhen, but there's a potential there for him to become that lethal striker because he is in that groove and he have the ability to do so. So remember, 68 games, 32 goals, 9 assists. That is absolutely amazing for an average. Now, centrally, that is his main position right here, but he can also play as a right winger. You never know that, right? And as a second striker, but mainly as a center forward. So basically, if the coach in Mikel Arteta wants to make a twist to his shape and formation, then possibly you can have an Ivan Toney playing in um, the central position, of course, on the right wing or as a second striker. Suppose he wants to play with a front two one of these blessed days just for one game, then you can have an Ivan Toney or a Gabriel Jesus. And I'm going to go right into something that I believe is important for you to see in regards to formation setup because it is something that I know a lot of persons should understand and should know. Forget about the ball right here. So, looking on this now, this is a dream lineup for Arsenal with Ivan Toney coming in the winter period. I think Aaron Ramsdale should be the main man in goal between the sticks. Um, this should be changed a bit right here. So the back four is going to be these guys, right? So it is White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko. Solid back four. Declan Rice as a CDM. I'm not sure why he has a ball. Maybe he's thinking about scoring alongside Ivan Toney when possibly Ivan Toney comes in the winter period. Odegaard and Havertz. Then you have Saka, Martinelli. Then you have Ivan Toney being the man leading the front line. Arsenal plays high level football. I don't think they press as high as Liverpool, but they play high level football with possession, keeping the ball at their feet, making good passes through the lines, and having a man like Ivan Toney being at the forefront, then having crosses coming in from this guy Saka or Martinelli would be so easy for him to convert. Very strong with his back turn to goal, very composed with the ball at his feet, good on the counter or on the break, a player you can rely on to give you at least 15 goals a season in an Arsenal system. Remember, he plays 68 games for Brentford in the Premier League, 32 goals. And Brentford is more so a middle table team, right? So if you have this type of person in your squad, in an Ivan Toney, then you can expect a lot of goals. And there could be times in which, just imagine Jesus is playing in this man position. Then you have Ivan Toney. Sometimes Ivan Toney can switch to the right just for a second to accommodate, like, for example, more strength and body build up on the right wing position just for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be for the entire game, but based on tactical changes, you need a striker in an Ivan Toney up front. Before Mitrovic went to Saudi Arabia, I was thinking that Arsenal was going to go for him because Ivan Toney was that player who was somewhat of a problem in regards to the gambling. But if it is not Mitrovic, then it has to be an Ivan Toney. So I'm coming down now to a close, and just to reiterate, the video is all about why Arsenal needs to sign Ivan Toney in the winter. It's still important. It is still important because of all the things that I've shown you before. And just to add some more clarity on that, he fits into the system perfect like a glue because Jesus is a player who can play even in the different positions, but you need a focal point, a central point striker who is a bully striker, who is strong, who is agile, who can dominate, who can destroy low blocks or teams that are trying to hit you on the counter in any formation or any position. Ivan Toney is the right man to have in an Arsenal's team, and I believe that he can go on another level. So, additionally, I just want to close off the segment here by speaking about Arsenal in regards to where they are. So, what is happening right here? So, yes. So, Arsenal is currently first in the English Premier League. And as you're seeing it there on the table, right? Um, win, 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 lose, win. Not a bad 5 games, 39 points. So you have Liverpool is right behind them, Aston Villa as well, and Man City who has been off, off the pace with 5 points behind both. Well, 5 points behind Arsenal and 4 points behind Liverpool and Aston Villa. The thing is, I want to show the statistical information here in regards to the best players for Arsenal at the moment. You have Bukayo Saka, who has been outstanding, 7.71, Martin Odegaard 7.51, Declan Rice 7.36, Thomas Partey 7.28, and Zinchenko 7.24. If you realize most of Arsenal's highly rated players are those who are in the midfield and those who are, well, most of them is in the midfield. You have a Odegaard, Declan Rice, Thomas Partey. So basically, if there's not a Saka, then Arsenal would not be converting up front in regards to the front three as how they should. So when you have a Martin Odegaard, a Declan Rice, and a Thomas Partey who could be going this winter or in the summer, if you have those players playing behind a striker in an Ivan Toney, then you can basically get to the conclusion that a lot of balls will be shooting into Ivan Toney. He'll be getting a lot more opportunities, and he will have that big chance to dominate and score 15 goals or more for Arsenal in the Premier League season. I do hope and I do want to see Ivan Toney, you know, getting a bigger opportunity to play for the Gunners. And to let you know by wrapping things up here, Liverpool and Arsenal will be kicking things off on the 23rd. That is a few days from now in the Premier League, and that will be the game to watch out for. So, just to conclude, the topic is all about why Arsenal needs to sign Ivan Toney in winter is still important. I basically shed some light on the fact that, you know, his price tag could be higher if it goes in favor of Brentford because they believe that Ivan Toney is valuable. He should not be sold for 35 million euros. They want to get a higher value for their main man. And, to me, it should not be in that case because, as I mentioned about two times, he has been banned before and he has missed several games, you can say half of the season. And I think he should be like 55 million pounds or 50 million pounds at an affordable price. Arsenal should not go for Solanke. They should go all out for Ivan Toney because he's not injury prone either. And also, there's been other clubs like Chelsea who has been showing interest in Ivan Toney, but I think Ivan Toney should go to Arsenal. They're in a better position to even have a chance to win the Premier League, if not still be in the Champions League. Chelsea is a mess right now. And of course, I show you the details as to how Arsenal's, Arsenal's target has been performing in the Premier League for Brentford. He has been scoring goals. He has scored more than 30 goals in 60 plus games, and making assists as well. So he's not only a goal scorer, but his goal contribution would be something that you could give a thumbs up. So goals can come from all departments in Arsenal squad. And also I mentioned the formation as to how we can fit in. And without a doubt, he has to be the focal point of Arsenal's team, even though he can play in different position. Let's say sometimes he can play in a front two on the right hand side. In a 4-4-3 as well. He can play as a second striker, but mainly he's a main man up front because of his physicality, technicality, and his appearance and his strategic finishes. He can score free kicks, he can score penalties, he can score from a build up, he can make assists. Arsenal has to go out for this guy. And to close things off, Arsenal will be playing Liverpool on the 23rd. But I mentioned the top players who are doing the works for Arsenal in a Saka, a Odegaard, a Rice, and a few more. They need a striker who they can pass the ball to, who can decide on putting the icing on the cake. So for me, Ivan Toney is a missing piece of Arsenal, and they needs to go out there, splash the cash, get him as the first signing, so that he can be integrated into the squad and let things be more fluent for Arsenal. It is now my time to go, but of course, I want for you to watch, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Premier 7. Of course, the content is here for you to watch and share your views as well, because this is a community for us all to enjoy. So, you do have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you, and goodbye for now.